My name is Evan Levy. I'm a sixth-generation Torontonian. I build sculptures in cold-rolled steel. You're sort of asking the wrong person. I don't actually believe in perfect happiness. I'd say getting up in the morning, still being here for a moment, there's perfect happiness, and then I'm awake. I believe the only people that are perfectly happy are those probably committed to institutes that are looking through windows and being spoon-fed because they don't know any better. I'd have to say my greatest fear is not completing my mission, my sculpture mission, that I was obviously born to do, which is not build the number of sculptures I have to do in the way I want to build them and getting them out there. And that's probably my greatest fear, dying before it happens. It's a hard one. I don't admire all that many humans to begin with. And I know most people, don't want to be like their parents. I'd say my father. I admire him a lot. If I could be half the person he was, by the time it's all over, I'd be doing pretty well. Being a control freak, being stiff and unbending sometimes in my opinions, and not being able to come around to other people's opinions or other people's values or the way things are. It's a drawback in my personality, not being able to unfold properly and understand other people's views sometimes. I find that a drawback in my personality. Not being able to understand what I'm saying or what other people are understanding, what those people are saying, and just sort of being stuck in one mode, one-dimensional people. They irritate me, irritate the crap out of me. I'm excessive about everything. If it's sculpture, I take it to excess. It has to be right. In my past, if I was doing drugs, I was obsessive and excessive in that. I'm excessive in basically everything I undertake. I'm excessive about, and for better or worse. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. The most overrated virtue, I would say uncontrolled liberalism. And I'm a liberal, but uncontrolled liberalism, I find that to be the worst thing. It's going too far, giving too much room, in crime, in this, in that. Everything's understandable, everything isn't understandable. There's some things, uncontrolled liberalism irritates me to a point, and I'm a liberal. What challenges me, I'd say getting the thoughts out of my head for the type of thing I'm doing, type of sculptures I'm building, which are new, which haven't been done before. There's no place else doing what I'm doing in sculpture. To achieve the motion from subconscious to paper to actuality to dimension is what challenges me. What gives me the most satisfaction is seeing the piece in motion when I'm building it. And sometimes I can do it for a few hours a day, sometimes I can do it for 1 hour a day, sometimes I can do it for 8 hours a day. When I see the pieces coming together, it's difficult, the type of sculpture I do, because I'm fabricating each piece to put them together properly so that they're unfolding properly. So when I see it, that gives me great satisfaction. The lowest depths of despair, I'd say withdrawing from drugs. Drug addiction is the lowest form of despair, coming off them, trying to get off them. Any ex-drug addict would know exactly what I'm talking about. The moment you're not going to do them anymore and the months after that, I would say that's the most, there's despair. Greatest achievement, surviving the art world as long as I have, when I've been smacking at the door forever. The type of sculptures I've been doing since I started have been rejected out of hand since the get-go because I'm trying to do something new. When you try to do something new, it's not acceptable. What's acceptable in the art world isn't what's best, it's what's acceptable. What's new and innovative is usually rejected for 100 years, and by that time the artist is dead, and then they're worth 180 million on the market. But you're gone. My idea of success is completing what I've started in sculpture. That's my total idea of success. My comprehension of it is, if I can complete the sculptures that I need to build and get them out there, then I've been a success. That's my idea of success and how I comprehend it. When do I lie? When do I lie? When I don't want to tell the truth. And mostly I wouldn't say they're straight up lies or lies of omission. I just don't tell the whole truth. My wife, Kathy Summers, who's a painter in Toronto, keeps me distracted. Yeah, I'd say she keeps me distracted quite well. If I could write coherently and put my thoughts in order, that'd be a great talent for me. I find it hard to write my thoughts down and keep them in order. That'd be a very good talent to have, I would think. I'd say if I was going to come back as a person or a thing, I'd say I'd probably relate to being a wolf. They're isolated, they don't like humans much. I can understand it. Their fear factors are intact. Historical figures, I'm not much on historical figures. I'd say I'm sort of drawn to military persons or politicians. I relate to the type of valors of the Churchillian speeches of, from the mountains and the hills, come and get us, we won't be defeated. Military planners, whether it's Rommel or whether it's Dayan in Israel in the 67 war planning, attacking, theory and mobility. I'd say more military planning. I find that sort of admirable and interesting. I would probably choose architecture, considering all the architects I see today, like whether it's Frank Gehry and his designs or Daniel Libeskind, his designs. I've always liked architecture. I like buildings. They look like sculpture to me, and a lot of Frank Gehry stuff definitely looks like sculpture to me, or what I consider sculpture. I can hardly see myself getting an award. Since I am Canadian, I am a nationalist. If I was going to go after an award, I can see myself getting the Order of Canada for creativity, for creating a new type of sculpture which is truly Canadian, which hasn't been done before. If I was to get an award, I could see along that line of thinking. If other people can see that at some point, it'll come to fruition. When I was in high school, I had an art teacher. I was making films at the time, short documentary films I had started, and he pushed me to sculpture. When I was suggested doing sculpture projects, he said, do it, go, and he pushed me. Fork in the road, a friend of mine got into Ontario College of Art at the time, and basically on a bet I applied. I wasn't going to go to Ontario College of Art, I didn't know what I was going to do, and I got accepted. So I say that's a fork in the road. So if I hadn't gone there, I wouldn't have met my wife, I wouldn't have had the career I had. It just wouldn't have unfolded that way. The universe unfolds as it should. The Ontario College of Art bet and getting in changed things. Get to where I'm supposed to go in sculpture, from A to Z, to get to where I have to be, to produce the works that I need to produce so that they can live on and into history, whether I'm here or not. And of course, just to be able to survive myself and my own foibles and drawbacks. I'm not much on mottos, but if I had a motto, it would be the old line of learn from history. Those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it.